The old man walked into the bank with a calm expression, raised his hand, and began to carry out wild plans against the security guards. Removing all threats, the old man directly opened the vault, found one of the safes, and installed an explosive device. When opening the safe, the old man didn't care about the money or antiques inside until a silver coin appeared. Only then did he reveal a satisfied expression. The police had been waiting outside for a long time, but even though the old man had been shot, they couldn't stop him. He simply went too far. Seeing the old man rush out like a flash, he immediately got into the car. It wasn't until the man in the car tore off his necklace that the old man completely lost his life, then took the hell coin from his hand. And this coin had no ordinary meaning. According to legend in ancient times, Judas betrayed his eldest son, Jesus, as a reward to the Romans, giving him 3 pieces of coin. However, seeing his master's tragic situation, he felt very remorseful and quickly threw away the coins and hanged himself. It is said that by collecting enough coins, you will have the power to ascend to heaven. On the day the camp was robbed, a cow was about to give birth in a small town. As the beneficiary, Elena arrived when it was raining. When the birth was over, everyone was stunned. A cow had actually given birth to a human. When Paco learned of the incident, he immediately rushed to the scene to prevent panic. He ordered no one to spread the news. Because the incident was too shocking, he took the baby to see the priest. But upon hearing that a cow gave birth to a human, the priest's face suddenly changed. Then Paco took out the computer he had bought long ago and checked the video. The priest thought it was possible that someone had exchanged sex with the cow during this time. This left Elena speechless. However, that night, the alarm bell, which was only used in emergencies, suddenly rang. Very quickly, the villagers gathered here. A wanderer secretly carried the baby onto the roof, muttering something mysterious in his mouth, telling them that this was the child of Satan. The priest and others also went up to the roof, and the homeless man said that the sooner the child was dealt with, the sooner things would get worse. That child would only bring disaster to the town. However, under Elena's earnest persuasion, the wanderer finally let go of his melancholy. But to prove he wasn't finished, he turned and jumped from above. Just like the child's consciousness, this unexpectedly appearing baby must be looked after, otherwise it might cause some trouble. So Elena entrusted the boy to a kind old woman, but she didn't know that her good deed today had a major impact on the town. Afterward, a silver coin was found among the belongings, but she didn't pay attention to it. The next day, Elena went to check on the cow and found that it was fine except for some weaknesses. The old woman was very grateful to Elena, not only for saving the cow, but also for finding her a grandson. She had to ask her about the baby, and the old woman said he was very obedient and ate a lot, so there was no need to worry about him not eating. She also invited Elena home, and she politely agreed. But when she got home, the old woman's husband told her an unpleasant story. It turned out that the old couple once had a romantic relationship, but due to an accidental drowning, the wife's personality changed dramatically. It wasn't until this child appeared that the wife recovered. Elena thought this was a good thing, but the old man shook his head and told her to prepare herself. Then Elena followed the old man to the attic. When she saw the boy, she was so shocked she couldn't speak. The boy was only a few days old, but already as tall as a teenager. There must be something wrong here, but the old woman treated her big-headed son very well. After Elena left, the watcher looked into the distance and advised his wife to send the boy away because the child's growth rate was increasingly frightening him. But the old woman said the boy was still developing well. However, the husband insisted on sending the child away. The old woman had no other choice but to resort to cruel measures. Seeing her husband lying on the ground, she had an idea. High-quality ingredients often only require the simplest cooking methods. She mixed some internal organs with milk and made a hearty meal for her big-headed son. Elena went out at the same time, found Paco, and recounted everything she saw at the old woman's house. He said the baby was very normal, and Paco just thought she was making a fuss. Then they both drove to the old woman's house and entered to find thick cobwebs inside. The old woman's husband lay in a pile of cobwebs. At this point, Paco finally believed Elena. After opening the door, he slowly went upstairs, but the old woman suddenly appeared. As soon as she finished speaking, the old woman took out scissors and stabbed them, then kicked them away, sending the two into a panic. But the old woman had no intention of letting them go. Unfortunately, Paco was injured, knowing he was no match. She could only desperately run out, turn back to find reinforcements, and was called out by the old woman. She said that you are all responsible for my son's life. She showed him the toys she had prepared for her son. Not long after, Elena arrived again. Seeing the scene in front of her after a few hours, seeing everyone enter the house, the old woman asked them to leave quickly. This was a policeman who was about to launch a sneak attack from behind. But the old woman turned around and slapped him several times, looking like a different person. She seemed to have known the priest for a long time, saying that if he handed over the silver coin, she would spare his life. As soon as she finished speaking, the old woman suddenly attacked, catching the priest off guard. The two quickly rushed into a fight. It could be seen that the old woman was definitely possessed by something. The policeman had seen such strange things somewhere. He fired several shots at the old woman and killed her on the spot. Elena hurriedly went upstairs to find the child, but other than thick cobwebs, there was no child here. Soon after, an ambulance arrived at the scene and took Paco and the old woman into the trunk. However, on the way back to the hospital, the dead old woman woke up, took out a toy, and kept mumbling. A large spider suddenly appeared on the road, and the driver, unable to avoid it, drove into a ditch. Immediately after, the large spider tore open the car door with its two claws. The old woman said her son had come to pick her up and ran away. At the same time, the priest brought Elena back to the church and opened a chamber filled with various weapons. Elena was confused when she saw the priest pull out a weapon and take out a bullet. At this moment, the sound of a window breaking suddenly rang outside. It seemed the opponent had found them. The priest went out to check the situation, but it turned out to be the old woman returned from the dead, asking him to hand over the silver coins. After speaking, she slapped him. Elena was about to step forward to help when the old woman swung her hand and slapped her to the ground. Seeing the old woman walking towards her, Elena quickly hid in the cabinet. The old woman told her not to spread the meaning, otherwise misfortune would always befall her. At a critical moment, the priest suddenly unleashed his power, knocked down the old woman, and poured all the bullets onto the water table, because only this way could he truly defeat her. At this moment, the old woman took out a toy again, but the priest shot her without showing any mercy. After the priest stepped forward to check and confirm that nothing was wrong, he hugged her. Just as Elena was about to leave, she saw a large, human-faced spider slowly walking towards her. At a critical moment, Elena picked up the toy the old woman had dropped and killed it. Unable to bear it, it ran away, and she luckily escaped. A moment later, the priest returned late, but Elena was obviously a bit distraught. What had just happened was completely beyond her comprehension. What the priest wanted from her was meaningless, but Elena refused. She said she wanted to delve into the matter and see what was really being done. However, she didn't know that it was because of this coin that it had caused her countless troubles. Another strange thing happened that day. Elena saw a book in the mirror, but when she turned her head, the real world was empty. Obviously, there was a big problem with this mirror. Everything they saw at this moment could be fake. Elena had an idea. After switching her phone to camera mode and zooming in, she saw some text in the book. Based on the description of herself there, the two immediately searched online. This was a book called Judas. It recorded the love and hatred between Jesus and Yahweh. To resolve the doubts in their hearts, they found the only identity in town, the priest. They immediately discovered the magic of the song mirror, and there seemed to be an independent space within it. The priest stepped forward and pondered for a long time, but still didn't understand the reason. At this moment, Paco, from another angle, saw the door in the mirror open, but in the real world, the door was closed. The priest quickly stepped forward to open and close the door continuously, but a different scene appeared inside. While he was thinking, a figure suddenly entered the room. Everyone immediately entered the room, but it was still empty. To solve this mystery, the priest decided to spend the night alone here. Looking at how evil this mirror was, the three took Elena out of the room, and then he turned on the camera. It turned out that he suspected the priest was involved in the recent strange occurrences, so he installed a camera in advance to check the priest's unknown thoughts in the room. No matter how he looked at it, he had a normal memory and no clues. However, in the early morning, when everyone was sound asleep, the priest in the mirror suddenly raised his head, then slowly stood up and walked towards the edge of the mirror. The priest in the real world didn't notice anything, and the fake priest didn't act recklessly either. Paco and Elena returned to the room early the next morning, and the priest was sound asleep, unaware of what had happened last night. According to him, this mirror was nothing more. But when Paco took out the surveillance video, the priest was so frightened that his head went numb, actually getting up and walking towards a room with a person in the mirror. Faced with this scene, even the priest, who had experienced storms, couldn't help but be afraid, angrily raising a hammer and intending to smash it, making the virtual world completely turn into nothingness. The virtual priest actually appeared inside. The three of them and Elena calmly left the room. The priest wanted to see what tricks he could play with the mirror. He picked up the hammer and was about to hit the fake priest when he suddenly asked him, "Do you want to see that child?" Then, the fake priest pulled out a dead man's body, which was the boy the priest had accidentally killed a few years ago. Seeing the opponent's appearance, he felt guilty and wanted to receive the boy's forgiveness and kindness. However, the boy suddenly stood up, stepped through the mirror, hugged the priest, and pulled him into the mirror world. The fake priest came to the real world with a calm expression. When Paco and Elena rushed back, the broken mirror had been restored to its original state. Then, he brought the two back to the church and told a story that no one in the world knew. It turned out that in Rome, there was a source of power passed down from ancient times to care for them. That was anything that could destroy restraint, such as the issuance of the cross. And Judas' 30 silver coins were a cry and could have unparalleled power. At this moment, the fake priest changed the subject. Facing the priest's workplace, Elena noticed something was wrong. The priest in front of her seemed to have changed. She turned around to take it for a year, but unexpectedly, the priest had secretly followed her. Just as Elena was about to hand over the coin, she accidentally discovered that the priest's watch was ticking counterclockwise. Only then did she realize that the person in front of her was not the person she knew at all. After confirming that the opponent had completely left, Paco and Elena returned to the mirror. If it was a fake priest just now, the real priest must have been trapped in the mirror by him. Elena had an idea and touched the book that shouldn't exist based on the reflection in the mirror. The actual contact made her tense. Then she picked up the book and went to the mirror, shaking it up and down to confirm that she wasn't hallucinating. Then she flew towards the mirror and broke it. An independent figure appeared from a thin piece of air behind her. The two of them carefully stepped through another space. This place was exactly like the real world. Pushing open the door, they entered a magnificent hall. The strange thing was that all the mirrors here were connected to all places in the world, and where they had just entered was just one or two of the many people who had seen the pyramids here. As they continued to move forward, the front of the hall seemed to pass. As they got closer, they saw many people in red robes sitting together. Only one person with a sack over his head looked out of place. A man wearing glasses with a leadership appearance held a dagger and kissed it deeply. Everyone passed it back, with solemn expressions as if they were performing some ritual. Then the man in white opened it. This person was not only the missing priest, but the man with glasses also wanted him to hand over the coin. But the priest would rather die than obey. He knew very well what misfortune his money would bring. Elena slammed the coin directly onto the mirror, immediately attracting everyone's attention. The priest took the opportunity to stand up. Paco had just helped him up when he found that the passage behind the mirror had turned into a wall. However, they knew it was not appropriate to stay here for long, so they quickly picked up the priest and returned to the mirror. As soon as they stepped out of the Middle Ages, they looked back and saw that the crisis in the mirror had indeed been temporarily lifted. When the priest returned to the real world, the fake priest disappeared. At this moment, Elena finally knew that the misfortune brought by this silver coin had exceeded her ability to resist. To end everything, she went to the bridge and threw the silver coin at the base of a large tree, thinking that it would bring a perfect ending to everything. Pay attention. This old woman can actually know about the long-lost ancient times. Not admitting defeat, she kept her wallet inside the scarecrow's body for 49 days. Then she took out other people's photos to examine them, carefully relying on the scarecrow's feet, and finally quietly sat on a chair and began to practice kung fu for a while. A mysterious force invaded the scarecrow's body, and blood vessels grew from its original withered body. Early the next morning, a strange man appeared in the town. This man was dressed in rags, covered in mud, causing people to stop and watch. It was the scarecrow revived by the old woman. He walked straight into Elena's house and revealed his original form. After washing himself clean, he was actually Elena's husband, who had been missing for 2 years. Elena received the news and rushed to the emergency room as soon as possible. He had lost a lot of weight in 2 years, but no matter what, he survived and returned. Then the two hugged each other and went home, but they didn't know that the old woman was secretly watching their every move. Not long after, news of Elena's husband's return spread throughout the town, and a bearded man came to her doorstep. However, as soon as he saw the man, he was so frightened that he fell to the ground as if he had encountered something terrible. That night, the bearded man held a shotgun and went to Elena's house, shooting at the large bed. Unexpectedly, there was no one there. Soon after, the police received a report that the scene was unguarded. Jesus was shot down. The police rushed to investigate. Paco also arrived at the scene in time, but Jesus said that Elena's husband was not real. 2 years ago, there was a dispute, and the person he accidentally killed was Elena's husband, and he was buried without anyone knowing. There must be something strange about this man returning at this time. Meanwhile, Elena and her husband were on a short trip. On the way, the two talked and laughed. Elena was still immersed in an atmosphere enveloped by happiness. Her husband's violent actions completely brought her back to reality. As soon as she finished speaking, she grabbed the steering wheel, and the car immediately lost control. After falling under the bridge, the man who woke up went to the gas station and put the unconscious Elena into the car that was refueling. The man warned that it was his car. The next second before leaving, the scarecrow man gave him gasoline to drink, then walked away satisfied. Then Elena's husband drove to the hydropower dam, pulled Elena to the bridge, and then pulled Elena outside the fence. At a critical moment, Paco and the others arrived in time. After some strenuous efforts, they pulled the man into the reservoir, and he turned into straw. Fortunately, they followed and rescued Elena in time, otherwise, the consequences would have been disastrous. At the same time, the old woman also burned the man's photo and seemed to be plotting something. The next day, they re-excavated the accident of Elena's husband based on the description of the bearded brother. After burying her husband, Elena decided to go to Paris to rest. It was because of this action of hers that the silver coin she threw away was also circulated a few days later in a high-end restaurant in France. He intended to throw it away, but the man reached out to stop him, naively thinking that the coin and he were related. The next day, when he went on a date with his girlfriend, Rock gave her a very meaningful coin. Elena opened it with anticipation but was terrified. She remembered what the scarecrow had told her. The coin would return to her hand in various ways. She quickly asked to go to the bathroom to calm down. At the same time, a mysterious old man wearing a necklace entered the restaurant and confronted her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was in danger. Elena came out of the restroom and accidentally saw the old man in front of her fumbling around her boyfriend, as if he was looking for something. When he saw the box fall to the ground, he quickly stood up to pick it up, but the security guard arrived in time. The old man was shot many times but was not injured. He was so angry that he hit the security guard. Judging from the sound, each blow was a fatal blow. In a panic, the security guard accidentally broke the old man's necklace. As a result, he fainted on the spot and fell to the ground. Elena quickly stepped forward to look at the man, but it was too late. When the police arrived, she suddenly remembered that there were no coins in the box. She didn't know when she had stood up. It seemed that everything was destined. At this moment, Elena also wanted to understand that since she couldn't escape, she might as well bravely face it. However, when she resolutely returned to the town, shocking changes had taken place here. The entire town was actually trapped by a kind of agricultural and pastoral barrier, and this kind of knot can only enter but not exit. What exactly is going on? It turns out that as soon as he left the town, a man in a suit suddenly came to the town. He found the old woman who had revived the scarecrow and personally gave her a package of items. After the man in the suit left, the old woman secretly poured the bag into various wells in the town. That day, dense smoke began to rise from all the wells in the town, and the residents didn't know what was happening. As time passed, the entire town was covered in this thick fog. Not long after, Elena returned to the town and saw a strange sight in the town. She seemed to have guessed that the coin was somehow related, so she walked into the thick fog without hesitation. The man in the suit smelled the coin. It seemed they were fully prepared to regain their meaning here. At the same time, the priest, who had not appeared for a long time, finally appeared and felt that the town was being invaded by evil forces. He took out weapons and ammunition and baptized everyone with holy water. Then, Paco and Elena strengthened the power of justice. Is it important for the whole team to come to the town with weapons baptized with holy water? My God! He shouted madly. But what happened next broke their vision. The giant suddenly emerged from the surface and everyone was terrified, their scalps numb. When the monster revealed its true form, its weight alone crushed them 10,000 times. The priest picked up his submachine gun and fired at the monster, but even if he ran out of bullets, he couldn't harm the monster. The monster just hooked its finger, knocking the priest unconscious. The two immediately carried the priest back to the original place, luckily escaping the monster. The residents of the town of 30 coins had also been brainwashed, waiting for the bishop to deal with the general situation. To prevent the evil spirits from attacking, the priest threw the only remaining holy blood in the world onto the ground, then smeared it on his eyelids and the back of his head with his fingers, putting the rest into the mouth of a chanting dove, then went to the window and released it. The priest blindfolded himself and the girl tortured him with a rope. This was the long-lost control number of the grape. At this moment, the white dove controlled by the priest flew freely throughout the town. All the scenes outside were transmitted to the priest's head in real time. After a fierce march, he finally approached where the pagans were preparing to sacrifice. Then the whole team took out the map and began to formulate a battle plan. Early the next morning, not long after the pagans began to prepare their sacrificial tools, the bishop's luxurious motorcade began to arrive. And there were many of them, in addition some other cars interspersed. A group of people in white appeared in the town and had been waiting for a long time. His subordinate presented him with a crown containing 29 coins as well as the sacred holy object, the hair of the genus pig. The bishop performed the sacrifice and they could stand at the top of the heavens. At this moment, the priest appeared at the sacrifice site through the secret passage on the map, but was attacked. At this moment, the bishop signed the last coin into the crown. 30 coins flew up to the roof with the bishop, and the ceremony officially began. He declared to the people that our era was coming and a new world order was about to be born. At this moment, the priest woke up and rushed straight to the roof. Both fell, and the coins fell out. The believers came forward one after another to snatch the coins. The latent greedy nature, the scene from thousands of years ago, reappeared in silence. The world lost control. The believers who got the silver coins left the town one after another, preparing to create their own era, and the 30 silver coins were scattered around the world again. The man in the suit, who had spent countless experiences on this, was also confused because his carelessness had caused the priest to destroy history. It seemed that there was still a long way to go when he wanted to master the model of the world. Then he changed his clothes, opened his eyes, and went to the other side of the world, preparing to concentrate his strength to fight for the 30 coins again. Here, the content of the first season of 30 Coins has ended. Thank you for watching. If you find it good, please give me a like and follow the channel to look forward to more interesting movies. Goodbye and see you again. Hi everyone, what do you think of the video? Please let me know in the comments section. If you think it's good, please give us a like and subscribe to support our channel in future videos. Everyone,